Good morning, Cowboy Jim, Fort McMurray, Saturday morning. Thank you so much for, even if you stumbled into this, thank you anyways. And if you can stand watching it, I'd appreciate it. And YouTube tell me I should ask everyone to subscribe. If you see anything good, and this is the 320th video, well then you subscribe, and if not, you don't, okay, please. So, Lewinsky, president of the Ukraine, just finished a long discussion with a bunch of senators, I think last night. I saw it this morning on Fox News. And he cannot understand why there is not a no-fly zone over the Ukraine. And I understand his dismay at that. And it's simply this, NATO, and especially the United States of America, is not the people, or some people, Democrats for the most part, except for two Democrats that stand out from the crowd that are not stupid. Biden, you can't pick on him. He's not in his right mind, hasn't been for so long. And some may question that as being a little too Irish in nature. But it is coming to light that Biden has been slow dragging his assistance to the Ukraine, premised on he did not wish to offend Iran, who are in league with Soviet Russia, and who are also then in league with CCP, Xi Jinping. And so Biden has slowed down everything to fulfill his mentor, which is Obama, who sent, I think, 150 billion physical dollars in one or two cargo planes over to Iran many years ago. Well, not that many, but not that many. And received nothing for it in return. And Biden has spent 3 months dragging his buns on the assistance to the Ukraine. And when public opinion has turned so against the NATO countries who have done too little, too late, and are limited because of their fear of Putin. Putin is an abuser, and he is just trying to keep the countries of the world in line with what he says he wants, and that is no one in Soviet Russia is allowed to protest against the war that he, Putin, is conducting against the Ukraine, which will expand shortly. And it has to expand because Putin is all out of money except for, because his 640 billion or whatever has been temporarily seized, or the countries of the world who are afraid of Putin have pretended that they seized. And so his only source of income is from Biden and the NATO countries who continue to insist on buying oil from Putin. And the politicians who are despicable in the States, some in Canada called liberals, Trudeau up here, in the States, Democrats, Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden. The corruption runs so deeply, that you cannot believe a single word that you hear from the politicians in the States, except for two Democrats Okay, I think it's Joe Manchin and a little Sienna or something. Wonderful lady. Um, and a few Republicans. You see, Republicans stand for what is right until it's more convenient to give in to what will get them reelected. And it is unfortunate that Biden is in, I was going to say control, but that wouldn't be wrong because he's not. He's just a figurehead who reads off a teleprompter and screws up even then. And so whoever the idiot is who writes, and they must have a lot of people because Biden every now and again talks to the people, and when he's asked a question, whoever are his writers who try to protect him from being recognized as being an aged person who has lost his mental acuity totally. And they have to get the answers onto the teleprompter quickly so that Biden doesn't look any more of a fool or an idiot. Scripture says, call no man a fool. So listen, I didn't do that. Well, I hope I didn't. Anyways, doesn't matter. Well, it probably would be right in this instance, but nonetheless, we 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 study what we're told to study by the dictators within our own parliamentary system. Those are the people who have an agenda. It is to protect Xi Jinping and to protect their retirement, the politicians' retirement. How many politicians went to work, broke, and when they retire, they're not broke anymore. I mean, they're not. They're filthy rich, and just that in itself should be enough to cause people to realize. Listen, you should ban politicians from being allowed to increase their savings because they sell their hearts and their souls to people like Putin, Xi Jinping, all that sort of crap, and it's terrible. And now, because Biden won't do anything, he lies. He says, "Yeah, they're doing this, they're doing that." Horseshit, they're not. And if they are, it's so like if they put a ban on through SWIFT in the banking world. Has Biden quit buying oil from Putin? No. Has the UN nations have they quit buying oil from Putin? No. Well, how are they paying for it when, according to Biden and some NATO, all the banking systems are shut down for? Well, they're not. The ones that are shut down are the ones that are very visible, but the ones that are still there, which allows Biden, the dummy, to get oil rather than drilling in his own land. I mean, Donald Trump, I don't care what you say about him. Well, I do actually, because you just be careful around me about that, because he did what was right by the country, and while Trudeau was refusing to talk to the Canadian Freedom Convoy, Trump was shouting encouragement, not to Trudeau, that asshole. Sorry. I can't edit, so I can't take that out. So, but I'm sorry, and I'll be more careful. Trump was supporting the Canadian Freedom truckers, and well, he should, because I, as a former rancher and trucker, I prayed for Donald Trump every day since he came down the elevator. Every day. I prayed for Stephen Harper up here in Canada. I prayed for Benjamin Netanyahu in Israel. That's our duty as people who choose to believe in a creator. Not to believe in them in specifics, but pick the best of the worst, which are politicians. And Donald Trump, Stephen Harper, Benjamin Netanyahu, definitely the best, eh? And so I was watching last night. One lady was telling about a little girl who had been riding in a car with two others. Russian forces shot the two others, took the little girl. I don't mean like a 7, 8. She was 17 or 18 years of age. And they took her down the street a couple of blocks and they raped her. And then they killed her. And the interviewer on Fox News says, "What, you're going to get information from CTV, eh? Huh? Not likely." Okay. CNN, all that, not likely. Fox, you will. And it will be unbiased and it will be as fair as they can make it to be. And their commentaries are, are, are not prejudiced against anyone. They are really choked with the Democrats, but everyone in the right mind who uses their mind should ought to be choked with them. The interviewer said, "Do you know of any other people who have women who have been raped?" And she said 11 in total. 6 of them were found dead. 5 lived through it. Okay, here. Biden, the NATO countries who supply Putin with money, which in turn gives him the freedom to fund his terrorism, is war against Ukraine. People say they have the blood on their hands. To a politician who has sold his heart and soul to Xi Jinping, Putin, for $1, they don't care about what we care about. Putin doesn't care about what we would not do that sort of atrocity. Yes, Second World War. Yes, there are evil people in and out of the army, and yes, women were raped during the Second World War. But you're getting ready to see women in the Ukraine being executed, because that's what Putin is going to do. He is going to have public executions in the city streets as a warning to those who have not become subservient to him. In Russia, if you protest anything that is not in keeping with Putin's line of verbal vitriol, you can get up to 15 years in jail. Well, you'll probably just get shot, that's all. Okay? But that doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. I watched a Russian couple today, husband and wife, and they were speaking clearly. I don't know where they were. I doubt they were in Russia, because Putin is banning everything that would allow the world to know that he has no money other than what he gets from the U.S. for oil and NATO countries for oil, all of which goes to kill men, women, and children in the Ukraine. And that's a fact. About 3 weeks ago, I was talking about Putin, Xi Jinping, their game plan, their agenda. Xi Jinping, Taiwan, South Seas, Putin, move into the Ukraine. And I thought, he's not stopping. He is not going to stop. I think Finland applied for membership in NATO. Think about that, children. Countries are running scared of a tyrant. I suggested a week ago that there should be some Russian people near Putin who would shoot him, put him down. And it hasn't happened yet. Lewinsky, gutsy, common man of uncommon valor. Astounding. A legend? Yes, he is going to be a legend. Pray to dear God, keep him alive. Putin will do what Putin is going to do. And if you do not acquiesce, he will use any method at his means to force you to acquiesce. Now, what that means is he will use nuclear. He will do anything. And unless NATO, the U.S. Want to allow Putin to restore the glory of the Soviet Russia that they lost shortly after the First World War, then you people, NATO, the United States of America, you're going to have to bite the bullet, count the cost. You're going to have to stand up in resistance to Putin. And God forgive you for allowing women and children to be killed as they are. And also, Putin is going to do what he's done many times, and that is he's going to surround the cities. He's going to lay them waste. He's going to knock them down. He's going to have public execution. He's going to kill women and children. And the U.S. and NATO, they say, but we don't want to offend them. Oh, come on. Oh, come on. Man up, would you? You watch a week. Oh, I pray it's much, much longer. You watch a week's time. You watch where Putin's going to send his conscripted army. They're not even allowing men out of Soviet Russia now. At the border, they're not. Women can go, but not the men. Because there is going to be a conscription. And there is going to be, they say he's already using 90% of his army. And you poor people who in politics and you who say that Putin's army, they're just not up to it, you're wrong. You're wrong. You are so wrong. You're talking about Russian people, not the politics. You're talking about Russian people who I believe in great part are going in the wrong direction, and that it's hard for them not to support Putin because they'll get killed otherwise. Russian people are very much like Ukrainian people. They used to be referred to as cousins. Ukrainian people, they will fight to the death. Olena Ginez, not a question. Not a question. But you who say Russia, they're inept, you're wrong. They'll kick your ass. They will. They will. People in NATO, you're in trouble. You better stand up to that tyrant before he gets all his forces lined up against you. Okay? I'm telling you, grow up. Open your eyes. Study history. Study scripture. Study Putin. Well, that'll make you throw up. God bless.